Have you ever really taken like a video crew through? I've never seen this house before, man.
Never. Nobody has. Get y'all here. I never let nobody come in my house, you know.
And that's just, is that because of your kids, or is that just because?
Combo. I just like feel like that's my privacy, you know. Nobody needs to see that, you know. It's different you coming in than the whole world coming in, you know. It's like, what am I gonna do that?
Yeah.
It's like a little pond. I'm working on it though. So I got sick of it, so I'm gonna make it like a nice outdoor shower. Working on that. Then I got, these are like the rooms that I was telling you about. Got a room in here, kitchen, bedroom, little living room, everything. My coach that you've met a couple times used to stay there. He lived with me for like 3 years, but then he got his own place and he took off.
I was gonna say, I saw him this morning. I was like wondering if he still lives here.
Yeah, no. He doesn't. We got him a big old nice house down the street, so now he lives down the street, but he was with me there, you know?
That's great.
This is our tiki hut. There he is right there.
Yeah.
That's where I like to cook my Brazilian meat, picanha, much like April 8th. Served up, you know? Cook that just right. And that's my attack dog, but you ain't gotta worry because I'm here, so he ain't gonna attack you.
You mow the lawn yourself?
Nah. You know, it'd be very therapeutic, but nah, I ain't doing all that. You see how big?
It would take a while, huh?
Take a minute, you know? So all of that last part over there, from like that water there, it'll be like a rail of, it'll be a course of like all these obstacles that I'll be jumping and moving and stuff.
I just kind of weirdly, I like that the road is right there. It's like that high wall.
Yeah.
Gives you a lot of privacy.
It's a turnpike. That's one of the reasons why I took it, and that's also one of the reasons the house was on the market so long. Nobody wanted it because of noise and stuff, but when I close my door, since I have the impact windows and all that, you can't hear anything. Yeah. And I don't have no neighbors, like you said, so nobody like messes with me. I've never seen those people. Yeah. And these people mind their own business. The last thing they want over there is attention. So nobody ever messes with me. I don't have to see nobody, and it's like the best thing. You know? Yeah,
it's far enough away that the sound is almost kind of like being back here. It almost gives it kind of like this echoey thing. I kind of like it. I kind of dig it,
and once I'm in there, like in my room, like I could hear if somebody smashes on their brakes or like accidents I've heard. Yeah. But for the most part, I fall right asleep.
It's funny that you've had this for 4 years though, because it looks like you are still like
renovating.
Still a
we
work
are,
in
man.
progress.
We had a lot of work to do when we got here.
Yeah.
Like all that's why you see a lot of these guys like walking around. All this stuff, had to take it out, you know, put new in there. The painting, I finally settled on the colors, so the house is like different colors. By the time you come back like 3 months from now, it'll be all white like this. It's my little killer.
So your everyday car is the BMW?
That's to go to American Top Team and back. That's what I use all the time. I got my Porsche too here and there, I whip it around. Then when I'm in Miami and stuff, there's more of the Benz over there. And then the classic cars, I never really drive them, you know. I got them, but I don't really stun on them like that. I'll take them to like a photo shoot. I would literally get the car towed there. Keys stay with me. They'll have it there and they'll do like the video or photo shoot or whatever. Nobody even drives it or even turns it on, you know, and then they pay me for that. So I was like, bro, if ESPN want to pay me, cool. If not, no biggie, you know?
This is going to be so sick, dude, because it's a special occasion when you drive this. Like, are you looking forward to driving it today?
Hell yeah.
Put you in a certain mood, like getting
the old school's definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely no AC, really just a naturalness, you know?
How did you decide on the classics that you bought?
Some since a kid, like the Shelby. I always wanted it for myself, you know? But my dad was even like a bigger fan of that car. He loves that car, so I was like, let's give the Papa Dukes real quick. This one, a friend of mine actually found it, and I always liked this car, but I wasn't like, oh, I have to get this car. And I saw this car, and when I saw it, I was like, I have to get the car. The price was great, top down, the suicide doors. I was like, man, I gotta get this bad boy, man. And the Impala, I always wanted the Impala. Always since a kid, I always wanted that more or less year model of the Impala. So I was like, I'm getting that bad boy as well. This is like called the horse country. You see all the houses here got like big lots and big lands, you know? It's a nice little suburb of Miami.
Yeah, like how is like the geography of Miami and like the like does it roll straight into like good neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods? Like how would you describe like the city itself?
Miami's a big melting pot, you know, and a lot of, I would say, like cliques here and there, you know, like all the Jamaicans are here, all the Colombians are there, the freaking Russians over here, you know, but then at some point they're all like meet, you know, it'll be like a neighborhood with all meet, but we'll have like our stronghold neighborhoods, you know, like this neighborhood is mainly Latin and Latin descent. Now that more people are coming to Miami by the truckloads, we'll get like Americans from like up north now, more in this area, but this used to be just like predominantly Latin only, you know.
And your life, you've kind of been all over the place?
In Miami, yeah. From north to south, east to west, I've lived in all the parts of Miami. So I could say I know Miami like pretty damn good, you know.
And that was because of what, like
well, my mom, we were in those apartments that I showed you when I got back from Peru. I lived in Peru for about 4 years, and when I landed back here, went straight to those apartments. We were chilling there. Life was great, you know. I had like we were nice and steady there for like a while, like 4 or 5 years. Then after that, my mom bought a house. It was right after Hurricane Andrew hit, and this neighborhood got like devastated by Hurricane Andrew, like wrecked, and it was like a decent neighborhood, you know. So my mom was able to like buy a house here because the prices had dropped. The neighborhood was in like shambles because this hurricane had like utterly destroyed it, and they have like a massive lake in there, and that lake created tornadoes, so like the damage was just amplified, you know. So my mom was able to get like a steal of a deal, bought this house, and we were there for maybe about a year. Then after that, she had to like start renting out the house because we couldn't afford it, you know. But my mom's a thug just like me. She showed me perseverance, so she would rent it out every time we started coming up short for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And during that, we were actually able to save the house because we really couldn't afford it after some time. So that's what led me to be bouncing all over Miami since around like 14 years old. We started bouncing around and stuff, and more so me already, because by the time I was like 13, 14, I was like a little man already, you know. I'd do what I had to do, train and stuff, and then just try to get money for me and my mom.
So realistically, like how many different places did you live between the age of like 14 and I don't know, like when you started your MMA career?
Well, I started my MMA career at 18 professionally. I'm 38, so that's 20 something years right there, cuz. What's up? I'm gonna say, I don't know, between like 14 and 18, probably like 4 places, because it was like I rent the place for like a year or stay at your house for a year, or the gym would let me sleep there for a little bit, so might have been even more. There was a couple of places, you know, but I say from like 14 to 20 is where I was like bouncing around a lot, just trying to figure it out, but not really caring, just kind of like if I'm a surfer on a wave, just handling whatever's given to me, you know, because back then I did not care to have a car, a nice car. I did not care to have nice clothes. I did not care to have nice shoes. I did not care to have fucking jewelry, which I for the most part, a lot of me still doesn't give a fuck about all that. But I gotta look nice for TV and some of these things I do like, you know, so I have them. But when I was growing up, I had grown up not having it since I was a kid. So then when I got older and I had more awareness, I was like, I don't even need this shit because this doesn't help me out for the fighting, you know. And I always knew that my gifts, as long as I relied on the gifts that God had given me, I'd be all right. I'd get everything that I ever wanted, you know. And his UFC was taking off more, and then I would see it's not the same thing, but I would see how well boxers were doing and how well I could be doing myself. I was like, man, this is a way out for me. I don't give a about what's happening right now, where I'm sleeping in. You know, none of that stuff matters. You know?
Why do you think like it was so easy for you to really believe in this though? Because like you said that to me before, where you just weren't stressing about it. You knew, like you always knew.
I always knew
that it was going to end up all right. But like sleeping in a car and moving around, and you've talked about not having food in the fridge. I mean, that would stress out a lot of people.
Yeah, but it was the thing is, when I was young, it was a lot worse than just like sleeping in the car or like, you know, not having food. You know, those were things that obviously nobody likes. I didn't like them. But shit, man, it didn't like always make or break my day. And since I also grew up in that situation where I got home and there was no lights for like a month, so now I have to go like shower, try. I've seen my mom's work ethic too, you know, since when I was young, she had like a very good work ethic, work drive. So that really helped out with everything, man.
How's your diet? Pretty restrictive at 170, or you can?
No, at 170 is you know, as long as I don't overdo it, I'm all right. You know, 155 was a different story. Be like 8 to 10 weeks of a strict diet of lots of fasting, lots of running. It was a different lifestyle, you know. At 170, I have a lot of the leeway. It's not like I could eat like a pig or nothing, but I could maybe. What I like to do is just eat clean, you know. I don't want to eat like food. Like everybody knows, I love junk food and stuff. So I stay away from that a lot just because it's not good. And I try to do it more so than ever now at my age, year round. Is back then I wouldn't have fights. Like I'm eating whatever I feel like, you know. A seafood diet, whatever I see is getting wrecked. Now it's more, I want a burger, okay. I'll have the discipline to wait till I get to my house. I'll make the burger myself with my condiments, with my, you know, the best source of meat that I could possibly get. Maybe not put cheese and buns in it. I'll put some lettuce and stuff like that. And then it just makes my life easier. But doing it when it really counts is on off season, because everybody can be disciplined when they got 8-9 weeks, and that was always me. Those 8-9 weeks I could be very disciplined, but outside of that, that's where I'd always get myself into trouble, you know, stopping at these places at 2:30 in the morning. Like that place right there got great chicken wings, Flanagan's.
Yeah. You
ever heard of them?
No.
Man, they got bomb ass chicken wings, man. That's the spot right there.
You when you retire, what kind of physical shape do you think you'll be in?
That's a good question that everybody asks me. Most of my close friends off rip, they're like, he'll be 250 pounds. Minimum, you know? Because I don't look it, but I have a massive appetite, man. I could eat. And I think that's maybe the one trauma that I have from like growing up. I think that constantly being like hungry and like working and stuff. And I get a lot of my meals at school. That was like a constant thing for me. I had all the free lunches. And then I knew everybody's free lunch code. So I was, after a certain age, I think I remember like right around 13, 14 is when my appetite switched, and I was just like a heavy eater. Like I'm hungry, you know? And I'm hungry more often than not, which is a good thing, especially for like young boys to feel that trauma, to feel that, to get after it, you know? So I wanted to eat. There was no food at the house. I'm never gonna play the victim role. I gotta get after it, man. I would work, I'd have gigs. If I was like cutting grass for the whole week, or if I was painting houses, or I was doing demolition, I always had money in my pocket, you know? Just not just for myself, but for me and my mom. I always made it work, you know? So I got after it, man. And that's why all the bad situations are like, this is just now. This is not forever, you know? I'm gonna get out of this with these right here.
Yeah, I've heard you say a lot of just like open the fridge and there are drinks in it. Like, yeah. That's not something that a lot of people even really have to think about.
Then I'd be like, well, I gotta get up early tomorrow and go to school then if I wanna eat. So then I get to breakfast on time, you know, but I'm the only guy you knew that had all the lunch period. I had lunch period 1, 2, and 3, and everybody would see me like, bro, you got all the lunches? Yup.
How far away is the school you went to? Well, you probably went to a few, huh?
I went to, I went to numerous schools, and that was because the boy was problematic, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to all them teachers that had to put up with my ass. But yeah, I got kicked out of like, what, 3 different middle schools. I got kicked out of elementary, 5th grade summer. They waited till, that was the longest school I lasted in. 5th grade summer, Charles R. Hadley Elementary is when they kicked me out of school. In 5th grade in summer school. They just had enough of me. I went to like a private school after that because my mom was worried. So she found this like little private school. The teacher told her like, hey, listen, if you put him now in a public school system, he's gonna have to go to these special program middle schools, which is not like, it's like little jail, you know, it's not, but a bunch of me's hanging out there and the networking is gonna be the worst. And the teachers that scared the crap out of my mom, like, we love your son, it sucks that he got kicked out, but you shouldn't put him in like these alternative schools, you know, maybe try to find another route. And my mom found like this private school that was like affordable, you know, to an extent. And she put me in there, and then I got kicked out of that one, you know. And then I went to another middle school up north, like 4 hours up north from here. I managed to do fine there. Then I came back to Miami after like 6-8 months of completing the school there. And then 8th grade, I get kicked out of middle school again. So my mom's just like fed up with my ass, you know.
For what? Fighting?
All types of things, you know. All types of things.
When you would get kicked out like in middle school, would you have to like go home and tell her, or they would call her?
Oh, I'd never tell her. I'd say always call her. This looks all nice and stuff now, but like 15 years ago, this Walgreens was like a bowling alley, and like it was a troublesome spot to hang out. I got into so many fist fights in this place. You're just hanging out, just being a kid. I wouldn't look for trouble or nothing, but trouble would find me a lot.
This area of Miami is where you were predominantly, though?
No, not predominantly. It just depends at the age. All the way up to like 15, 16, where we went to the apartments, that's where I was mainly at, in that area over there.
And where is that from here?
20 minutes.
North?
Yeah, northeast. Like I'll show you there on the way, on the afternoon drive.
Okay. You did not graduate from high school?
I got a GED. I dropped out as soon as I could legally drop down and started like honing in on the craft more, just training morning, day, night. Just telling my mom like, it's school stuff, you know. I already know that I'm not gonna be a lot of these things that are offered to me in school. I know that I can fight. I'm gonna have to hire people maybe, you know. I was thinking like the smarter people. But this fighting stuff is on me. That's all I need to do, you know. I could already read, write, do math and stuff like that. I was like, man, I got it. Obviously, many years later, I kept like educating myself and learning more, reading books. The moment you think you know it all, you f***ed up, you know?
You said you fell in love with wrestling too, like but that wasn't at like a high school, that was like a gym? Yeah, no, I fell in love with wrestling maybe the first time, not the first time I saw it, but like, because the first time I saw it, I was a little bit, I thought they were like bodybuilders because they had the singlets on, and then these guys were like doing all these acrobatic things and flipping around and wrestling. And then I started to like it, you know, as I got older. Then when I went back to high school, I got to join the team, but I didn't have the grades to compete, so I was with the team practicing, and it was a big part of fighting. I already understood, like, man, if I can't wrestle, I can't punch in a sense, you know, because if the guy takes me down, puts me on my back, what good is it that I could hit harder than Bruce Lee, you know, it wouldn't matter. So I was very focused on my wrestling defensively always since a young kid. Like when you made when you came to the realization in school that like I'm not going to do any of this stuff, like were you looking at fighting as well, this is something that it's gonna be my job, or like you also just loved it though?
No, at the beginning, the end, the middle, and at all times I loved it more than anything. There was nothing else that consumed me that I wanted to talk about, look at, listen, study, research, absorb. It was just fighting. I didn't care about nothing else, to tell you the truth. Not another sport. And even for a long time, like girls or parties or any of that, I didn't care. I was completely submerged into the craft without even knowing. Like, it just consumed me. You know, I didn't give a f, you know. If it was a Saturday night and you called me and you're like, hey, I got the best house party in Miami too. So-and-so and so-and-so is going with her freaking 3 friends, and you know she's got a crush on you. Come to my house tonight. I can't, bro. Are you gonna show the fights? No, I can't. I'll be watching the fights. What? You stupid, bro? Come to, no, I'm just, can't, bro. I'll be watching the fight. I didn't give a f, like, about nothing else but that fight, you know?
You think if you would have been born into like privilege and you would have been a rich kid, you still would have loved fighting because it was just like,
you know, I don't know if I would have been as good because it requires a lot of discipline. Sometimes that discipline is fueled by a little bit of trauma, you know, so I don't know if I would have been that good, you know. Maybe I would have been better because I would have had more discipline to having to have money, and I don't know the levelness of how good I would have been, but I know one thing, I probably still would have been fighting, you know. I would have seen it, rich or not rich, and been like, that's what I want to do. And I'm a hard force to stop. When I say I'm gonna do something, you know, more times than not, I get it done.
When you're in
whatever it be.
When you're in the gym, and obviously like you've been around fighters your whole life, what percentage of them do you think are like that, where they just love it, and what percentage of them are like, what, this is like what I'm good at, this is what I'm doing like for means, or like what, like are a lot of them like you that they were just born like to fight, or do you think a lot of them?
I think a lot of them might like fighting a lot, you know, but like actually when they're in there like enjoying the fight, I don't think too many actually. I know so not too many, I could tell by a lot of them are having to deal with a lot of nerves, and that right there makes it not as fun for them, though they're great competitors. There's a lot of people that I've always looked at and I'm like, I don't know why I would compete with you. I'm not gonna mention names of them, but I've been around a lot of people that are like backstage, they're like throwing up, they're really going through the nerves, and it's like, man, if you're throwing up every single time you fight and you're getting so nervous and stuff, me personally, I wouldn't do it because it's not fun, you know. But there's a lot of guys that are like that and still pull it off and compete at a high level. Thank God I wasn't one of those people. It was like, hell yeah, you know. I used to get more nervous for grappling competitions than fighting competitions, always, since a kid. And that's because since maybe my grappling, I wasn't always the best at it, especially like offensively. I would feel like, oh, you know, I'd get more nerves, more like, damn, you know. But with the fighting, with this, it was just like a fish to water, you know. Punch holes in tires and stuff, put the little glue on them. I had all these little jobs. They didn't last long.
Because you show up and say that you knew how to do the job?
No. I was just space cadet a lot of times, you know. A lot of these things is like, bro, you gotta be quick, you gotta learn quick. I wasn't the quickest learner, and I was just like space cadet all day long thinking about fighting. I can't wait to get out of here to the gym. I'm gonna get that. What was that? How did he choke me on? I'm thinking about it all day at work, and I'm like, I'm gonna get him like this and like that. And then, hey, go take their orders or whatever. Boom, by the second time they do that, my ass is fired, bro.
Yeah, did you ever really work at like a food place, because that would translate to free food?
I got fired, but they never put me in the register. You know, it's my area, man. They know me everywhere. Let's go. He's one Latin dude that can go in every neighborhood, the black neighborhoods, the Asian neighborhoods, it doesn't matter where. I had that credit, that good credit everywhere. And I didn't have good credit with, like, you know, corporate America and stuff back then, but I had the good credit with everyone else, you know.
And why?
Huh?
How come? Like,
oh, because I didn't know karate, but I knew crazy. They knew that Chico was crazy, man. I used to do sprints right here, actually. We'd work out, me and Joel Romero, when he came out here, because he was living by over here. He'd work out with me right there. You know, this all looks nice, but man, this used to be troublesome, those spots.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks a lot different.
I mean, more up to date, more kept up. There's new houses, buildings, but like back then, you know, if you were too light-skinned, you didn't really want to walk around here, you know.
Yeah.
Not unless you knew somebody. This is where the fights took place. I haven't been here in some time now.
How's it feel being back?
Freaking awesome. Kimbo Slice and me, we grew up like around here.
I mean, this looks, I mean, it is. It's straight out of the Kimbo movies, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this makes me think of Kimbo, definitely.
Yeah. This is where we were slanging fish, make a better way for ourselves.
That is, I mean, it is wild to like you just said, make a better life for yourself. Like you were fighting.
Yeah.
Like just two guys fighting in a backyard right here has like, and then was seen by millions of people, man.
Right here.
What's going through your mind when you drive through here?
Gilbert and the stretcher, that's one, you know. Because I think like, no offense to anybody that is living in neighborhoods where I lived at, but like a big part of me is like, I'm never going back. You're not sending me. You'd have to kill me before I had it the way I had it, because, you know, I didn't have a lot of freedom, man. And believe it or not, as free as we are in this country, and this is the greatest country in the world, I say it every time, to really be free though, you need to have money. You need to have it, you know. And a lot of times, I think when I was running around these parts and stuff, well, I didn't have that freedom. I had to work.
Yeah.
My mom didn't have that freedom. My dad literally didn't have freedom because he was locked up, and my mom was working all the time and stuff. So I saw a lot of things like, man, you gotta work, man. You gotta get after it, bro. You know. And I understood since a young age that you gotta have a hard work drive, you know, because we weren't born with what the next guy had, you know, because you were going to school and every year you had the new shoes, and I'm like, man, I had the same shoes like 2-3 years in a row.
Yeah.
You know, you're 16, you got a car. I joked to my mom like, yo, when am I gonna get my car? She's like, yeah, you wish. You go buy your car, and I'm like, I am. You know? So when I think of these things, I'm like, nah, not me, man. I work hard for all this, and I'm never going back, you know. So first thing is like Gilbert and the stretcher, because he's trying to send me back here. He's trying to take my money away, you know. Yeah. And I know his little Brazilian ass is. He has that envy in his eye. I see it in his face, you know. He wants to be me. He wants what I have. He wants the draw that I am in the sport. It's not gonna happen, buddy. I'll you up bad, brother. But you know what? I'll send you a gift basket because I got a lot of money now to the hospital bed you're in. But ain't no one taking the shit I work for from me, bro.
But like when you think about your son, and he's a kid, right? You know, and he's doing kid stuff. When do you think? I hope you understand what, and I hope I phrased this correctly. But like, when do you think you stopped being a kid? Like, when do you think that was over?
When I stopped being a kid, like officially, was around like 13 years old already. Where a lot of things have happened. My mom's house was getting it was like 13, 14. Her house was under foreclosure. She wasn't able to come up with the money for like numerous months. So then we were like, hey, we gotta leave. We gotta rent this out. You know, things are gonna change. She went one way, I went with another way, and then I just started hustling, getting money, and I already knew, like, life's been tough up till now. I got to in the loads for my mom. So I used to, like I said, hustle, man. Hustle and hustle, just make it happen for me and my mom, you know? And also, I was already at the gym, if not every day, every other day, working out, doing something, you know? That right there is Joel Romero's gym. You know, Joel didn't grow up in Miami, but since he came out here, I brought him to this area. I showed him this area around here because I used to live around here, and then he like ended up moving by here as well when he brought his family from Germany. And my boy opened up a gym here, not far from where me and Kimbo used to grow up. One of the best fighters to ever come out of Florida. You gotta point the camera that way, cuz you gotta get Joel's gym right there. That's the man's gym right there. You know. I don't even know if they're in there right now. I thought I had a horn in this bitch. I know I got a horn in this shit. That's my brother right there, man. We worked out many times.
You feel like you're like representing Miami in this fight, or like you represent yourself?
You know, when when people see me, no matter what part of the city, no matter what their background, if they're Caucasian, if they're freaking Haitian, if they're Jamaican, if they're Colombian, when they see me, they lose their mind. Because I am the city, bro. I am Miami-Dade, you know? I'm the dude that didn't have this or that or wasn't the perfect fit for this or that, but the same mentality that we all have when we get here and that we all still have here, and it's like that immigrant mentality mixed with that. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. I don't care what you say, the color of my skin or my IQ or this and that. Like, I'm not a victim, and I'm not gonna sit back and be in the passenger seat to anybody. I'm gonna be in control, driving this vehicle towards a destiny that I want. And that's Miami right there. So when see me, they lose their mind because they know I embody that. Win or lose, I'm gonna go out there and give it my all and win. And I've won numerous times for my city and with a lot of style and grace. And it's not just for my city. I represent myself. I represent my Latin community in the worldwide scale, wherever they are in the world. And all the people that's like me, man, that are go-getters, you know? I don't care what your race is, your religion or nothing. If you're like me, you're out there getting it. You didn't start with the best situations in life, but you made it out. Let's go, bro, you know? That's what I think in Miami lose it. Well, all over the world, but especially here in Miami, you know? As soon as they recognize it's me, realize it's me, they fucking lose their mind, bro, everywhere I go. And that's a very humbling feeling for me, you know?
You were born here?
Yeah, Miami, Florida, Jackson Memorial, by like where we're gonna be up later, I'll show you.
And then, why did you go to Peru?
When my dad got locked up, he got locked up when I was 4 years old. They took him away for 19 years. So when I got locked up, my mom just, you know, she didn't have shit at the time. Not a dollar to her name, nothing, you know? And all she thought was like, how am I gonna work, provide for my son, and still be a mother and give him the time? So she sent me to go live with my grandparents in Peru.
You think you'll ever do like the book route or the movie route? Like, you think there'll ever be like a documentary or a book out on your life?
We got the book dropping in 2024.
Do you really?
Yeah. It's with a high value name company. They've done some of the best-selling books. They line up a lot with my political beliefs as well, stuff like that. So I've been talking to like, I don't know, 4 different book companies for a while now, for like 2 years. And bro, I speak Spanish, English. Besides my story of fighting being interested to like a regular person that wouldn't know much about fighting, amongst the fighters and the crazy fighters, I have like one of the most interesting stories, period. Yeah, you do. So I know the story of mine, and then what a lot of people don't know is like my upbringing, how wild it truly was. So it's took in the right book deal to get me to be like, all right, I'll open up, and you guys are the ones who run the project, because I know I'm worth a lot. Yeah. Just because I speak English and I speak Spanish, and the Latin community is so supportive on me. They go to war for me, you know? Yeah. So me knowing that, I had to make sure that this book not only comes out right, represents us right, but that your boy get paid. Yeah. What was he saying? He was saying, your mom, she's all... Nah, he's just wilding out. He's like, bro, you the hardest thing out in the city. Go get him, go kill that motherfucker, show that motherfucker what's up, who we are. Go that motherfucker, show him who we are. I told you to go crazy here when they see me, bro. Yeah. I embody that Miami, you know, go get it attitude. And it's just not me that has this attitude. Our football players, you know, a lot of the nation's best football players come from this city, Miami, Florida. You know, and it's like the same attitude, like kill or be killed. Come back with your shield or come back on it. You know, like, can give it all you got, because that's how they play ball. Because those because that's all they got as well. A lot of the ball players that come out of here, they didn't have nothing else. They didn't have another plan. It's just, bro, it's gonna be football. It's gonna be football, injury through injury, or no matter what, food or no food, it's gonna be the same thing. That's why we go hard here, man. Shout out to the Dolphins. Shout out to kicking ass. I think we're winning a Super Bowl next year, right, Chris? Tyreek, my dog, Tyreek. Ooh, we're gonna win a Super Bowl this year, I think, man. City's gonna go nuts. I bring that belt, I go bust up Leon. Same time we got a Super Bowl ring. It's gonna be crazy, man. Right as I was telling you, people freak out when they see me.
Yeah.
Wait till we get the other spots and people really know that they recognize that it's me. They're gonna lose their shit.
In this car, dude, like, we're gonna get some scenes tonight, huh?
This used to be a Toys R Us. And it went down.
You're like good at telling your story too. Like, have you? So you've already started that process of like talking to the book guy, like the writer and all that. Like, if you started to.
Here's the thing. I got all these book offers, and I was like, and you know, I thank the UFC for making me the businessman that they've made me to, because the UFC has made me work so hard for every cent that I know my value. I know what I bring, because when I come to the UFC, I'm like, hey, I want to raise this and that. Get the out of here. Yeah. You know, it's, hey, but you know, I sold the most pay-per-views 2 years in a row. I get the out of here. It's like I gotta come with more than that. Like, yeah. Hey, this is why I want more money. Yes. You know. Yes. So this has made me a master of my craft and negotiating and stuff. So when the book deal started coming around, I was like, yeah, I get it. You're giving me all this upfront money, but what's going on in the back end? This is my story. Nah, it needs to be more here. No, well, you know, we've never done that for no. Well, then I'm not giving you my. Yeah. It's my story. Yeah. I'm not gonna do it. You know. So it's taken a lot of work together, and basically I picked out my own writer from all the different writers that I had. Maybe you heard of him, Don Yeager. He's done a bunch of books, bestsellers, New York Times bestsellers. He did the Muhammad Ali book. He's done a great amount of work, and I researched him up well. And then we had our initial meetings, and we had to drive up to Coconut Creek where we just talked. And then after that, we did it on the way back down again. And I really clicked well with the dude. I was able to vibe with him. It didn't feel like I was, you know, spilling my guts as much as we were just having a conversation, just flowing and talking, you know. So I like that dude. I brought him on board, and then I told him, well, then you write my book, we'll finish it up, and then I'll take it to like the publishers, and I was thinking I'll just pay for it out of my pocket, rather than some publishers pay for it and then want more money in the back end. Like, no, I got money, I could do it my damn self, you know. Yeah. So that's the route we started going, and that was my thing right there. But one of these major publishers found us, and they were like, bro, you're a gold mine, and you're willing to do this already, which we'll take care of this, and this for you, but we want to do business with you. How much, what do you want on the back end? Back end meaning like, what am I going to get per book that I sell? Because that's really what I'm after, you know? Yeah, yeah. Like, if I'm selling my life story and I'm selling these books, and I get it, if we don't get rich off selling these books, I'm not trying to get rich. But if we hit gold, and I sell 1 million copies and up, you better believe the money's coming to my pocket, you know, not nobody else's, because it's, again, my life story, and I don't have to tell it. Yep. But if I'm gonna tell it, I'm gonna make sure I represent myself well, my people well, and you know, make a nice penny for it, you know. So it's gonna have a lot about my childhood and my upbringing, and all the wild ass trouble I got myself into. But you got the police station right over there.
You familiar with that one?
This one, they just dispatched and they won't bring you there. But all of the jails in Miami, unfortunately, I've been to them. You know, numerous times, from juvenile hall to the county, the TGK, and I never went for any federal crimes, but I went to the federal prison my whole youth because of my dad, you know, to go visit him.
I did read Don's book on Ali.
Yeah, he's got a couple bangers out there, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
He knows how to present it, you know, in a way that I feel a lot of people could gravitate towards it, you know. Then they got me to reach out to the Latin community. He'll get a lot of the Caucasian money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff, you know. It's gonna be a good thing. Then after that, I got all the rights to it, right? There's nobody else going forward it, so I'll find the right movie producer if that comes around, the right time, the right everything. And as long as I'm in complete control of everything and I get the most money, then maybe I'll take it to the big screen. If not, I'll just stay with the book, you know?
Yeah.
But I love to do this stuff because when I was growing up, and still to this day, especially the way Hollywood portrays this stuff, Latin people are always either cleaning the hotel room or the bad guy or something, you know. I love to show my Latin people, like, that's not all we're cut out for, you know. We could do it all too. We could do a lot more, you know. So me getting out there and doing things like this, it's not just for myself and getting my pockets bigger, but just like myself, when I saw somebody like Roberto Duran or these great Latin fighters fighting, and I was like, man, they're just like me and they speak Spanish like me and, you know, this and that, and they did it. I want to do it too. I could do it, and I know I'm going to inspire many that are just like me right now, that are not in the best situation, that are immigrants to this country or whatnot, or maybe they're not in this country, they're in their country, wherever the hell they're at, but they see me and they know I could get after it. He did it, I could do it too. Look now, where we was at. Now look this, look now, huh? Man, I'm happy as every day. Look at this, look at everything God's blessed me with. I got this long road, don't nobody with me here, nobody bothers me. My mom, my kids, my dad, they got everything they need. This is real life, man. This ain't my vacation home. This is me all year.
No. Dude, when you think of like the book deal and the, you know, potentially making millions off that and a movie and then your fights still, like what do you still want money for? Like what do you, like financially? What?
Like we said, money sets your financial freedom. And not just financial freedom, nowadays even more freedom. We saw how bad things got with the corona and this and that, and where the government is headed to right now. The more money you have, the more protection layers you could also put between you and them, whether it be getting lawyers or having the right people on your team and on your side. Like, it's money is this thing where, yeah, you might have a couple million, but so what? You know, and especially I didn't come this far just to come this far. You know, the hardest part was probably to get to that first $100,000 coming from absolutely dirt zero. Have $100,000 saved up when I ain't have even a card on my name, and I had to do all that from scratch. That was like the first hardest thing. Once I got that money rolling, why would I stop now? Why the would I sell myself short, you know? I'm telling you, and I'm telling you now, because I like to, you know, before I shoot that 8-ball in there, I always will call the pocket. You know, I have several hundreds of millions in my bank account before I'm done. You know, whether it come from fighting, promoting, or one of the businesses that I got up and running, because that's what I've set my mind to, man. To be as good as I can at fighting and have as much money as possible so I can stay free.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.